Hi everyone, so we're going to do another useState example, and we're going to see as we click the button, we're going to display something only after a certain number of clicks have been performed. So I'll show you how to set this up. So let's first set up the actual page, and we'll do import useState from React and export default function useState4. And now we'll set up the actual useState here. So we are setting up a useState based on the number. So based on a number, if it gets to, like, say above the number 1, then we'll do something on the screen. But let's first set the state to 0. That's the initial start, which is 0. And we'll add the return right now. And in here, let's actually add a button. And we'll say add number. And we're going to do something later, but let's first double check that we have the button there. Oh, so we need to do useState here, not setState. useState right up there. And right here you can see we just have a button, nothing is happening yet, but we just have this right now. So once you see that button, you're on the right track. Let's actually add some kind of activity or connection to it now. So what we're going to do is on the button click, we're going to actually perform something. And we're going to set the number. And what we're going to do with set number is we're going to actually increase number by 1 each time that we click on the button. And I'll just console log this out so you can actually see the number value increasing each time. So let's first see what it looks like in the actual browser. So right here we got the button. And just remember, this is something that you actually have to remember, is that because we put the on click, we've set up 2 different things that are happening on the click of the button, which is setting the number. Let me go back to the code here. So what we're doing here is we are doing 2 things. We're setting the number right here, and we're increasing it by 1, and we're console logging it at the same time. But because it moves so fast, you won't see the numbers increasing 100% properly, because after this sets the number, it should actually be a console log of 1. But even if I put this console log before the set number, it wouldn't matter, because Next.js runs or renders things so fast that everything kind of like mushes all together. So that's why you need to set up like these timers and stuff if you want to see it nicely and slowly, but I'll deal with that in another video. For now, I just want you guys to see this increase happening in the actual browser. So here's our browser. We have the button. Let me refresh the page here. So there's our button. If we click on the button, so you see when I click on the add number, it should have been 1, but it shows 0 because it rendered so fast that it didn't have enough time to actually update. So it's actually supposed to be 1. But you can see if I push it again that it does increase the number. So each time we click the number, you can see that the value of the number goes up by 1 as well. But what we want to have perform is that when it gets to above the number 1, once it gets above number 1, so the value is 2, then we want to display and show something on the screen. So let's try doing this example. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to add these curly brace brackets, and we're going to say number, if it's greater than 1, we put this and symbol, then we put the div. So right here we got the div, and I'll just format it a little bit better like this. And what's gonna happen is inside the div here, I'm gonna add a style. So our background color changes, and we'll say background color red, and then line height of 10, and then padding 20. And what we're going to do is in between the actual divs, because this is just one div, it's just styled right now. That's the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. So inside the tag, we're going to add just some text. I'll just say box. And what's going to happen is once the number is above 1, when it's above 1, then display this div right here. If it is not above 1, then it will not display. So what this will display if it is above 1 is it will display box, and it will display a background color of red with some padding and line hiding. So let's take a look at this. So if I refresh the page here, you can see we just start off with a basic button right now, and the logic is only if it is above 1. Only if it is above 1, then it will actually change. So right here, it starts at 0. Remember, useState, we defined it at the top to start at 0. So if we go back here, you can see the useState, it starts at 0, so our value is 0. And just because this thing renders so fast, it will say that it's like one number less, but because it's renders so fast, it's just not going to be able to update the number in the console log as fast, but it does update the number value by 1 each time you click it. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this button, add number. So add number should just increase 0 to 1. So let's do that. Click it once. So remember, this just renders really fast, so this should actually just be 1. So 1, now that it's the value of 1, just remember we put a logic underneath to only show the div if it is above 1. So it's not going to show yet, but if we click on it one more time, you can see here now, because the actual value, this did increase by 1, but because it's a little bit lagging behind, it's actually the value of 2 right now. And the box right here is, you can see it's a background color of red, and it only displays once it is above the value of 1. I'll just organize this a little bit more so you guys could see it a little bit clearer. But here you can see we got the button. This is our button that is set up, and what's happening is on click right here, it will increase the set number by 1 because we start here at 0. So whenever you click the button, it goes up by 1, so now it will be the value of 1. Then it will console log something, but because it renders so fast, it won't be able to update the actual console log, but it'll still display some sort of number. And this is just whatever text you want to call the button. And then these, because they're around these curly brace brackets, and it's not like directly between an actual tag, it's only going to render when we put some type of logic. So this logic is saying number, if the number is actually greater than 1, then we'll display this div right here. And this div will contain some type of styling that we've added here with a background color of red. And just notice how this is spelt out. This is inline styling, and this is camel case. We'll put some line hiding of 10 and padding of 20. Then we're just going to call this div box, and that will show up only when the number value is greater than 1. So just remember, I will be posting this code on GitHub, so if you are missing any brackets or anything or having issues, you can reference the code that I will be posting online.